Hello friends! In this video, we will break down the most dangerous countries where medicines can cost you your life or lead to severe illnesses. Millions of people around the world have no idea that some medications, purchased without proper verification, can be deadly. Counterfeits, poor manufacturing quality, and violations of safety standards can turn life-saving drugs into a lethal threat. We will examine real cases from American medical practice, review shocking studies from U.S. research institutions, and analyze which countries lead in the production of counterfeit and ineffective medications. You'll learn why antibiotics, painkillers, antivirals, and hormonal drugs made in these countries may not only be ineffective, but also cause serious consequences, from treatment resistance to poisoning by toxic substances. We'll explain the hidden dangers of counterfeit medicines and why taking such drugs can lead to strokes, heart attacks, kidney and liver failure, and other serious diseases. We will start with the less obvious risks, but by the end of the video, we'll cover the most fatal mistakes that can lead to irreversible consequences. You'll also get valuable tips to help protect yourself and your loved ones. You'll find out how to spot low-quality medications, which countries pose the highest pharmaceutical risks, how to verify medicines before buying, and where to find reliable information about safe drugs. Watch the video until the end to learn which medicines can have tragic consequences and how to safeguard your health by avoiding questionable sources. And if you've ever had a bad experience with counterfeit or low-quality drugs, share it in the comments. We'll discuss how to avoid these dangers and protect each other. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Tip 10. Never buy homeopathic remedies, dietary supplements, or vitamins from Poland. Poland has long been a player in the pharmaceutical market, but not always in a positive way. The country is among the leading suppliers of counterfeit medications to Europe and the US. Research conducted by the U.S. National Center for Health Statistics has shown that about 37% of dietary supplements from Poland do not match their listed ingredients. Some contain toxic impurities, while others consist of nothing more than flour, chalk, and starch. Vitamins produced in Poland are frequently counterfeited. Some lack active ingredients entirely, while others contain dangerous dosages that can lead to hypervitaminosis or severe allergic reactions. American doctors are increasingly encountering patients harmed by counterfeit Polish supplements. For example, in a Chicago clinic, doctors diagnosed severe liver damage in a 45-year-old man who had been taking so-called natural Polish vitamins. Lab tests revealed high concentrations of heavy metals, particularly lead, which caused irreversible changes in his body. Cases like this are becoming more common, as even the most cautious consumers can fall victim to counterfeit products. The US and UK governments have tightened controls on Polish dietary supplement imports, increasing border inspections and introducing new lab testing procedures. Germany has also banned the import of several Polish vitamin complexes due to safety violations. However, despite these measures, not all counterfeit products can be detected. To protect yourself and your loved ones, only buy vitamins and supplements from trusted manufacturers that undergo certification in the US, Canada, Germany, or Japan. Also, pay attention to lab test results. Legitimate manufacturers publish independent research data proving the safety and effectiveness of their products. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tip 9. Never buy weight loss drugs, anabolic steroids, or memory enhancers from Bulgaria. Bulgaria is one of the leading producers of low-cost pharmaceutical drugs, but unfortunately, many of them fail to meet quality standards. According to the American Institute of Clinical Pharmacology, around 42% of weight loss drugs manufactured in Bulgaria contain banned substances, including amphetamine-like compounds that cause addiction and severe cardiovascular complications. Anabolic steroids from Bulgaria are also extremely dangerous. They are often produced in underground laboratories that do not regulate dosages, leading to severe hormonal imbalances and serious side effects. In a medical center in Texas, a 32-year-old woman was admitted to intensive care with acute brain swelling after taking a Bulgarian weight loss drug. Blood tests revealed a mixture of sibutramine and phenol which caused a sudden spike in blood pressure and damage to her central nervous system. Unfortunately, such cases are becoming more frequent as Bulgaria remains one of the top suppliers of counterfeit weight control pills. The US, Canada, and Australia have imposed strict restrictions on the import of Bulgarian weight loss drugs and steroids. The European Union is also considering a ban on these products. To stay safe, only buy certified medications that are approved by reputable national agencies such as the US National Institutes of Health, NIH, or the European Medicines Agency, EMA. If you need weight loss treatments, choose products with clinically proven effectiveness and avoid anything that promises fast results without effort. How do you feel about this information? Leave a comment. Tip 8. Never buy antibiotics, antiviral drugs, or painkillers from Ukraine. Ukraine's pharmaceutical industry is in a difficult position. Lack of quality control and the spread of counterfeit products have led to a situation where more than 50% of antibiotics coming from Ukraine are either ineffective or dangerous. Research conducted by the American Center for Infectious Diseases revealed that about 68% of Ukrainian antibiotics fail to meet standards. Some contain insufficient amounts of ingredients, while others are nothing more than placebos. Ukrainian painkillers are particularly dangerous. They are often counterfeited by replacing the active ingredients with cheap substitutes. It can cause severe side effects. In the United States, several cases of fatal poisoning have been linked to Ukrainian analgesics containing high doses of fentanyl, an extremely powerful opioid that has fueled the overdose epidemic. In New York, doctors encountered a tragic case where a 58-year-old man died after taking Ukrainian paracetamol that turned out to be fake. The tablets contained so little active ingredient that they failed to reduce his fever, while toxic impurities in the drug led to liver failure. In response to this issue, the US government has tightened controls on drug imports from Ukraine, and the European Union has restricted the import of Ukrainian antibiotics, requiring independent laboratory verification of their quality. To avoid falling victim to counterfeit medications, always purchase antibiotics only from licensed pharmacies with a doctor's prescription. Avoid cheap online offers, and always check a medication's certification, especially if it was manufactured outside the US or Western Europe. Share your thoughts on this in the comments. Tip 7. Never buy anti-malarial drugs, antibiotics, or antiretroviral medications from Brazil. Brazil, known for its lush rainforests and stunning beaches, has unfortunately long been a hotspot for counterfeit medications. According to the U.S. Institute for Pharmaceutical Research, IEPRI, about 20% of all drugs sold on the Brazilian market either fail to meet quality standards or are outright fakes. This is especially dangerous when it comes to treating serious infectious diseases such as malaria, bacterial infections, and HIV. Imagine someone diagnosed with malaria who unknowingly takes a counterfeit drug with an insufficient dose of the active ingredient. Instead of eliminating the parasite, the weak medication allows it to adapt and develop resistance. According to the U.S. National Center for Infectious Diseases, NCID, more than 15% of malaria cases in North and South America are linked to ineffective drugs purchased in high-risk countries. For HIV patients, the stakes are even higher. Low concentrations of active ingredients in antiretroviral drugs can lead to mutations in the virus, making it resistant to standard treatment. One medical case that shocked doctors in the U.S. involved 42-year-old Michael Randolph from Miami, Florida. While traveling in Brazil, he purchased an antibiotic to treat a lung infection. The packaging looked identical to the original, but within a week, his condition worsened dramatically. The infection progressed into pneumonia, and lab tests later revealed that the bacteria had become resistant to the medication. Further investigation confirmed that the drug contained only 10% of the active ingredient. Michael spent 3 weeks in intensive care, requiring expensive backup antibiotics to recover. In response to these dangers, the U.S. government launched the Safe Medicines for America program, which monitors drug origins, tightens import inspections, and bans medications from unreliable regions. In the UK and Canada, government pharmaceutical agencies conduct strict inspections of every imported batch to ensure safety. To protect yourself, Never buy medications abroad, especially in countries with high counterfeit rates. Always verify drug certification, check the country of origin, and purchase medicines only from licensed pharmacies. If you're traveling to endemic areas, stock up on necessary medications from trusted American pharmacies before your trip. What's your take on this? Let's discuss in the comments. Tip 6. Never buy anti-cancer drugs, antibiotics, or hormonal medications from Turkey. Turkey has become a major center for pharmaceutical production, but along with this, its market has been flooded with counterfeit drugs. According to the American Pharmaceutical Committee, APC, about 30% of medications sold in Turkey either do not meet quality standards or contain undeclared substances. This is especially concerning when it comes to essential medications such as anti-cancer drugs, antibiotics, and hormonal treatments. Counterfeit anti-cancer drugs can result in the loss of valuable time in cancer treatment. If a patient receives a low-quality or diluted medication, the tumor continues to grow, spread, and become resistant to further therapy. A 2023 study by the U.S. National Cancer Institute, NCI, found that in 12% of cases worldwide where cancer treatment failed, counterfeit drugs purchased abroad were to blame. A tragic case involved 58-year-old Susan Hall from Boston, who was battling breast cancer. She purchased a cheap version of a chemotherapy drug in Turkey. 3 months later, doctors discovered that her tumor had doubled in size. Lab analysis revealed that the drug contained only 5% of the active ingredient. Unfortunately, by that stage, the cancer had become inoperable. To address this issue, Germany has implemented a strict drug import control system, where each batch is tested for compliance with European standards. France actively conducts public awareness campaigns to inform citizens about the risks of purchasing medications abroad. Serious illnesses require the highest quality medications. Do not trust cheap alternatives and never buy life-saving drugs from countries with a high rate of counterfeits. If you are undergoing treatment, always demand original medications certified in the United States. What do you say about this? Looking forward to your comments. Tip 5. Never buy erectile dysfunction medications, anabolic steroids, or psychotropic drugs from Pakistan. Pakistan is one of the largest hubs for underground pharmaceutical production. Counterfeit medications are widespread, especially those popular among men. Drugs for erectile dysfunction, anabolic steroids, and psychotropic medications. A study by the American Association for Drug Control, AADA, found that 40% of these drugs sold both online and in Pakistani pharmacies either lack active ingredients or contain dangerous impurities. Counterfeit erectile dysfunction drugs can include toxic additives that cause heart attacks. Anabolic steroids produced without quality control can damage the liver and kidneys and lead to severe hormonal imbalances. Psychotropic medications with unknown ingredients may trigger serious mental disorders, including suicidal tendencies. According to a report by the U.S. National Mental Health Center, NMHC, more than 7% of acute psychosis cases are linked to the use of counterfeit psychotropic drugs. A troubling case involved 35-year-old David Wilson from Chicago, who purchased Pakistani erectile dysfunction pills online. 2 days after taking them, he was rushed to the ICU with critically high blood pressure and severe heart rhythm disturbances. Lab tests revealed that the pills contained a dangerous sildenafil analog, which is banned in the US due to its fatal side effects. The US and European countries are taking strict measures to combat this issue. The Pharmacy Safety Online program in the United States tracks illegal drug sales. Switzerland has enacted strict laws banning the import of certain medications without proper certification. To protect yourself, always purchase medications only from certified pharmacies. Avoid online stores selling prescription drugs without proper authorization. If you need treatment, consult a doctor instead of risking your health by trusting unverified sources. Do you agree or disagree? Let's talk about it in the comments. Tip 4. Never buy cardiovascular medications, antibiotics, or anti-inflammatory drugs from Nigeria. When it comes to medications, quality is not just a matter of effectiveness, it is a matter of life and death. In Nigeria, as in many other countries with weak pharmaceutical regulations, counterfeit drugs have reached catastrophic levels. According to the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, at least 10 to 15% of all medications sold in the country are either substandard or completely fake. This is especially true for cardiovascular drugs, antibiotics, and anti-inflammatory medications. Poor manufacturing practices and counterfeits can lead to critical consequences, ranging from ineffectiveness to fatal complications. One of the biggest dangers is the uneven concentration of active ingredients. Research from the U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, has shown that about 30% of these medications either contain too little of the active ingredient or none at all. This puts patients at serious risk. For example, antibiotics with insufficient dosages not only fail to treat infections, but also contribute to bacterial resistance, making future treatment nearly impossible. There are tragic cases in U.S. medical practice as well. In 2019, a 62-year-old man in Texas suffered a hypertensive crisis after taking blood pressure medication purchased in Nigeria. Tests later revealed that the drug contained no active ingredient at all and was instead filled with harmless but completely ineffective fillers. Doctors barely managed to stabilize him, but the damage to his health was already done. Developed countries like Germany, Japan, and Canada enforce strict quality control over medications. Government regulators conduct regular inspections of manufacturers, and strict certification systems are in place for imported drugs. In the United States, the independent laboratory U.S. Pharmacopoeia tests medications to ensure they meet international safety standards. However, if you are in a country with weak pharmaceutical oversight, the only way to protect yourself is to buy medications exclusively from licensed pharmacies and verify the manufacturer. Use databases from U.S. medical associations, such as the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists, AAPS, to check the legitimacy and quality of medications before purchasing. Write your thoughts on this. Tip 3. Never buy antiviral drugs, antibiotics, or vitamins from China. China is the world leader in pharmaceutical production, but unfortunately, it also ranks among the top countries for counterfeit medications. A study conducted by the U.S. Institute of Medicine, IOM, found that up to 25% of all pharmaceuticals exported from China either fail to meet standards or are outright fakes. The most dangerous among them are antiviral drugs, antibiotics, and vitamins. Lack of production oversight, the use of cheap substitutes, and toxic impurities make these medications potentially life-threatening. Taking such drugs can lead to unexpected and severe consequences. For example, research by Johns Hopkins University revealed that about 40% of counterfeit Chinese antibiotics contain toxic impurities capable of causing acute kidney failure. In addition, fake vitamins often contain heavy metals, such as lead and mercury, which can accumulate in the body and lead to serious neurological disorders. A case from medical practice highlights the dangers. In 2021, a 47-year-old woman in California started taking Chinese vitamins to boost her immune system. Within 2 weeks, she began experiencing severe headaches and weakness. Lab tests revealed dangerously high levels of mercury in the vitamins. As a result, she required prolonged treatment at a toxicology center, and the effects of the poisoning did not fully disappear. In countries with strict regulatory systems, like the United Kingdom, South Korea, and Australia, pharmaceutical imports are tightly controlled. However, if you need to purchase medications, ensure they come from certified manufacturers and have been tested by independent U.S. laboratories, such as the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Technology and Education, PTE. The best way to protect yourself is to always demand quality certificates for medications and avoid purchasing from unlicensed online platforms. How do these facts sound to you? Waiting for your comments. Tip 2. Never buy painkillers, hormonal medications, or antibiotics from Russia. Russia ranks second in the world after India for the distribution of counterfeit medications. A study conducted by the American Pharmacists Association, APHA, found that up to 20% of drugs sold in Russia either fail to meet international standards or are completely fake. The most frequently counterfeited medications include painkillers, hormonal drugs, and antibiotics. These counterfeit drugs pose a serious health risk because they often contain cheap substitutes or toxic substances. Studies have shown that 35% of Russian counterfeit painkillers contain high levels of industrial solvents, which can cause severe liver damage. Antibiotics with insufficient active ingredients contribute to bacterial resistance, making the treatment of infectious diseases ineffective. A shocking case occurred in 2018 in New York, where a 55-year-old man purchased a Russian hormonal drug online. After taking it for several weeks, he developed severe heart arrhythmias and chest pain. Medical tests revealed that the drug contained none of the claimed active ingredients and was instead made of cheap fillers. Countries with strict pharmaceutical regulations, such as France, Sweden, and Singapore, have government agencies that monitor drug quality and prohibit the import of non-certified medications. To avoid putting yourself at risk, always check the manufacturer and origin of any drug before purchase. Use independent U.S. resources such as the U.S. Pharmacopeal Convention, USP, to verify the safety of medications before buying them. Let's discuss this point. What do you think? Tip 1. Never buy antibiotics, antimalarial drugs, or antiretroviral medications from India. Now we come to the most dangerous point of today's video. India is the world's largest producer of generic drugs, but at the same time, it is also the biggest supplier of counterfeit medications. According to a study by the American Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, AIPS, up to 30% of drugs manufactured in India either lack active ingredients or are replaced with ineffective substitutes. This is especially true for antibiotics, antimalarial drugs, and antiretroviral medications. Taking these counterfeit drugs not only fails to help in treatment, but can also worsen the condition. Research conducted by Harvard Medical School found that about 35% of counterfeit Indian antibiotics contain only minimal amounts of the active ingredient, leading to bacterial resistance. This makes future treatments ineffective and increases mortality rates among patients. A case from Florida in 2022 illustrates the dangers. A 50-year-old man contracted a severe form of malaria and took an antimalarial drug purchased in India. However, his condition rapidly worsened. Doctors later discovered that the medication contained insufficient levels of the active ingredient, which led to serious complications and a prolonged hospitalization. Countries with strict pharmaceutical regulations, such as Switzerland, Norway, and the Netherlands, enforce rigorous controls on imported medications. To avoid risks, always verify the origin of your medications, choose only trusted manufacturers, and consult a doctor before purchasing drugs, especially from countries with high levels of counterfeiting. Write in the comments which fact surprised you the most, and if you've ever encountered low-quality food products. Share your experience to help warn others. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.